syrup prepared, the way we do it in our sugar shack is with basically turkey fryers. This is our sugar shack. This right here is where we keep our sap. So we pack it and keep it cold. So then when we're ready to do a boil, it's kind of just right there ready. And we have a little pail as well. 1 second. And then just when we get some light on the situation, let me do that for you. That doesn't do much. She's dark in here without light, but anyways, we have the turkey fryers, propane there. Then we have a turkey fryer over there and a propane there. And I'm just getting ready to get all these pails out. First time I did maple syrup was at Highlands Nordic, Duntroon, Ontario, and it was with Chance Dion. He's the one who taught me how to do maple syrup, and Kelly Sinclair. Here we go. Let's go get some trees tapped. Hi, Cody. Can you say hi? Hi. All right. So what are we doing right now, Dad?
We're on the bus trail to put the tops up the trees. Maple syrup season's starting.
Yip yip. Cody, say let's go. All right. It's the beginning. Taking the buckets out. Okay, going for the first tap of 2021. You ready to do maple syrup season?
Yeah.
Can you say maple syrup?
Syrup.
Syrup. Can you say maple?
Maple.
Good boy. And 2021? 20? 21? Good boy. Thank you for helping. I love you. This year. Well, we're back to this tree, and somebody decided to come and leave me their food. And came and checked this one. I already broke it off, but it was all in there. And looks yummy. That's not syrup, but sure is sweet water.
Hey guys, what's up? What's here from Family Life, and today we're going to be doing a rundown of maple syrup. So if you didn't know, maple syrup season just started around here in Canada, and we wanted to give you a rundown of what we do from past experience and from research. So here we go. Maple syrup production here at the Family Life Den. In Canada, syrups must be made from maple sap and only maple sap to qualify as maple syrup. Maple syrup can only be legally offered for sale if it has a density of at least 66% sugar. 66 bricks is another term. Equipment for production of maple syrup. Buckets. These are used to collect the sap as it drips down from the spile. Lids. Attached to the top of the bucket. These prevent rain, snow, or any type of thing that could damage the sap. The drill bit. Depending upon the type of spile used, you can either use a 5/16 inch or a 7/16 inch drill bit to tap the hole into your maple tree. The spile. The spile, or tap as it is commonly used, is inserted into the drilled hole to transfer sap into the bucket. Hooks. These are attached to the tree to make sure that the buckets stay up onto the tree. Evaporator. This is used for boiling or evaporating your sap. Hydrometer. A hydrometer is an instrument whose function is based on Archimedes' principle.
Archimedes. So it's a formula. If you don't know what it is, go look it up because it's how everybody use what the formula is what you need to make maple syrup. Within the hydrometer, is that how you would say it?
That's right. Okay. This principle states that a body, the hydrometer, immersed in a fluid is buoyed, up by a force equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. The hydrometer measures the weight of the liquid displaced by the volume of the hydrometer. And last but not least, filters. These are used to filter any solids, such as pieces of bark, when transferring sap from the collection bucket to a storage container. So if you were to have bad particles of bacteria in your sap without a filter, it's not going to be good and you could get sick.
That's about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. The 5 steps involved from start to finish of making maple syrup are: the first step, preparing for the season, making sure all equipment is clean and ready because the season often approaches fast.
So basically, what we did, you saw it earlier, we were all prepared. A whole bunch of propane tanks used, or that we're going to use. They're just placed outside of our sugar shack, and our turkey fryers are already ready. We wish that we had an evaporator, and maybe in the years to come we will have an evaporator, but for now this is the way we're going to do it, and it works just as well. It's rather than spending money on wood, you're spending money on propane, so either or, it's not going to matter. It does the same thing, and maybe takes a little bit longer. I'm not sure. Possibly.
The second step of maple syrup, when to tap. Freezing nights and warm, sunny days are necessary for the sap to flow from the maple tree. Sap is a colorless liquid with a light, sweet taste. Generally, the sap starts to flow between mid-February and March. The exact time of year depends upon where you live and weather conditions. So here in Canada, the sap is already starting to flow. Sap flows when daytime temperatures rise above freezing 0 degrees Celsius and nighttime temperatures fall below freezing. The rising temperature creates pressure in the tree, generating the sap flow. This is basically a transfer of the sap from the tree above the ground and the root system below the ground. The sap generally flows for 4 to 6 weeks, with the best sap produced early on in the sap flowing season.
We call the early production of the sap our gold. It's my favorite. We don't have an example here, but it's just beautiful gold. You'll probably sell it and make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But we don't, because we eat it, and that's a later topic.
And for the people not in Canada, that are in the U.S., 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit.
There you go. There's a little conversion for you. The more you know. All right. Is it my turn? Okay, so Papa Bear will probably jump in on me a couple times. So the third step to this production is identifying the trees to be tapped and tapping them. The recommended order in selecting your maple trees to bring in higher sugar content is first your sugar maple, then your red maple, then your silver maple. Any other maples? We did see another one.
Black maples too.
Black maple as well, but I don't believe we have those. I'm not sure. Do you know of a black maple?
Never seen one, that's for sure.
And if you want to talk trees, it's definitely Papa Bear. Choose trees that are mature, which means at least 12 inches in diameter. 12 inches for Americans is 12 inches, that's right.
30 centimeters.
Also known as 30 centimeters. And obviously healthy to the best of your ability, right? There are two basic methods used to tap the tree. When I say healthy to the best of your ability, you're not sure what's under the bark, what has been happening before. You don't actually know. You can only do the best by telling the bark outside, the branches, if it's healthy-ish, healthy, very healthy, or dead. Definitely don't tap a tree if it's dead. I wouldn't recommend that.
Definitely not.
You're wasting your buckets and taps.
Also, another way to do it too is prepping the year before. You can mark trees with tree tape so it doesn't hurt anything, to get a better quality tree if you know it's real healthy the year before.
All right. So there are two basic methods used to tap the tree. The classic bucket and spout method, which we use. We have tops 30 trees, not even 30 trees, but we use the bucket and spout slash tap. Maybe down the road when we have a bigger sugar bush, we might use what they would call a tubing method. It's just for bigger production, I would say. Yeah. When trying to decide where to tap, select an area on the trunk where no previous taps have been drilled. Okay, so don't drill anywhere near that. Avoid drilling directly above or below old tap holes from previous seasons. Although southern exposures, this threw me a little bit because like rule of thumb says you should always put on the south side your tap, because the sun hits it and it gets the most sun there, whether it be the south or southwest or southeast. But this little tidbit of information was pretty cool that I got. Although southern exposures may thaw faster than shaded north-facing sapwood, it is important to utilize the full circumference and height of the tapping zone when installing taps for the health of the tree, which can be difficult, like I already talked about. The size of the drill bit we use is 7/16 because it fits our file best, but Everest already talked about sizes and everything. Collecting the sap and processing, which means boiling / evaporating to make maple syrup. The excess water is boiled from the sap. It takes 40 parts maple sap to make 1 part maple syrup, which is for us 40 liters of sap makes 1 liter of syrup. Or you can also say 10 gallons of sap to make 1 quart of syrup. Okay, your heat source. You can dig a small pit, secure over the fire for support. Fire is built in the pit with dried split wood, as it will take several hours to boil your sap into syrup. A sufficient wood supply is required. Other options include outdoor grill, the kitchen stove, but very, very small batches I would do that in. Also an indoor wood stove, or even an outdoor fryer. That's what we use. If boiling indoors, keep in mind that the process will generate a lot of steam, so heads up for your house. Don't do it inside. That's just my full-on recommendation. Boiling the sap. Fill a large pot, 3/4 full sap, place onto the heat source. Once the sap starts to boil down, 1/4 to 1/2 inch half of the depth of the pot, add more sap, but try to maintain that boil. Don't lose that boil if it's possible. Transfer to a smaller pot, then the boiling sap will take on a golden color. Once the sap has mostly boiled down, but still has a very fluid texture, it's time to transfer the sap into a smaller pot. Complete the boiling. Once transferred to the smaller pot, the final boiling can be indoors. Continue to boil the sap until it takes on a consistency of syrup. Okay, one way to check is to check for this is to dip a spoon into the sap / syrup. Syrup will stick to the spoon as it runs off. It is important to watch the boiling sap very closely. It's happened a couple times in this household. By the end of it, it boils over and it's a sticky mess, actually. If you have a candy thermometer, that's great. Finish the boil when the temperature is 7 degrees Fahrenheit above the boiling point of water. Note that differs with your elevation. So just a tidbit on my experience and what Chance had taught me. Pretty funny little thought. But he taught me to dip a spoon into the just about syrup, basically. And if it comes out and it's dripping like a droopy nose in the winter and you're having fun outside playing and stuff, you are ready to go. It is syrup. But in this household, we use a hydrometer. And again, later videos will tell you. This is just the beginning of the series, so that's my little bit of information.
Part 5 of this, filtering and grating the syrup. So a small amount of the sediment will be present in your syrup. This can be filtered out of your sap using a food grade filter, which we have some examples here. That's an external filter. And then you put
So those are thinner. These are
thinner filters that you put inside the heavier filters on the outside. With that being said, again, they have to be food grade filters. So if you're doing this just for your own good or for your own family, doing a couple liters here and there, a coffee filter is suitable for a small amount of sap at a time. This does take a long time to do though. After letting the syrup cool, pour a small amount into the coffee filter. Collect the top ends of the filter into a bunch and press the syrup through the filter into a clean container, such as a glass, measuring cup. Depending on how much syrup is produced, this will need to be repeated several times using this method. Using a new filter each time. For larger batches, a wool or Oran filter can be used. You can also remove the sediment by allowing the syrup to stand overnight in the refrigerator, letting the sediment settle to the bottom of the jar. Canada produces more than 80% of the world's maple syrup, uses its own classification system. There are 3 grades. Canada number 1, including extra light, also known as gold, or sometimes known as AA. Light is A, and medium is B. Number 2, amber, C, and 3, dark, D. In the United States, has a different system, divided into 2 major grades, grade A and grade B. Grade A is considered premium type and is meant for eating, while grade B is so dark that generally only used for cooking or baking. Grade A is broken into 3 subgrades, which is measured by their translucence: light amber, medium amber, and dark amber. And here's a quick fun fact for you. Pennsylvania ranks from the 5th to the 7th in production with around 60,000 gallons per year and an average crop value of over 1.9 million. Vermont consistently produces the most maple syrup in the United States, producing more than 500,000 gallons each year. Quebec, by far, the largest producer in North America, with production exceeding 6.5 million gallons a year.
that's nuts.
That is crazy.
That's nuts. But still, Quebecois is the leader. I just actually looked it up. I was sure that I was right, but so syrups like Aunt Jemima, they're straight from America, straight from the U.S. We have one here in a can. They come in all different sizes, different everythings. But this one here in a can is right from Quebec. And yeah, we don't often buy syrup, but just for examples, this one, actually, we got it at just a Sobeys. And it's really expensive. When you get it from a Mennonite here in, like, near home, say this, I'm pretty sure that costs like $40. Was that $40 that?
No, 4 liters is $40 here.
Oh, so this is like the 20.
That'll be like $20.
So $20 Canadian. So, but you got to remember that's made right locally too. So same deal with as honey kind of thing. But other than that, yeah. Do you guys have anything to add? It's overwhelming sometimes when you're not used to any of that. But that's the information that we wanted to start off with just give a general idea of how we do it and everything like that. And yeah, but from here on, we'll be showing you actually what we do, hands-on, just like the video prior to this general knowledge part. But other than that, we hope you enjoyed, and keep your stick in your hands and stay between the rhubarb, stay safe, and stick with us. Make sure you subscribe. We really need your support. We would love it. And have a great day. Oh, ding that bell.
Yeah, take that off.
And share.
Sure. And like.
And like. All right, peace out.
Peace.